What's up? How you doing? Here we are, beautiful night tonight. It's late, but I'm out here. I'm gonna try some olive oil. Got a heavy duty chain right here. Look at the size of that. That's heavy. That's 2 feet, but that's heavy. Solid steel, and I have a solid steel lock to go along with it. Put it there before somebody gets injured. So, olive oil. I bought an olive oil I've never tried before, and I was very, very pleased with the flavor. So, Cobram estate. I know there's probably a fancy accent I'm supposed to add to that, but to me it looks like Cobram. I don't want to say Cobram. So I tried this one. It's almost done. There's a little bit left on the bottom because of gravity. And extra virgin olive oil, 100% Australia Select. So this one is Australian, Cobram Estate. Rich, fruity, and balanced. I don't know. That's not that balanced. So that's what that looks like. This one is the Australian one. And then I was in the market again the other day. Kind of lived there. And I saw the same company, Cobram Estate, only this time it's 100% Californian. So this is extra virgin olive oil, first harvest, just like that. Everything's identical except this one is from California and that one is from Australia. So California Select 100% extra virgin olive oil. And I'm thinking, what's the difference? I'm going to try it out and see what the difference is. So this is not open. We'll do this one first right here. So that nice color, nice and green. That's perfect. That's the way I like it. The greener the better, but because it's the beginning of the harvest, the color is more vivid green. So let's investigate this one. This one I'm opening up for the thing went to jump out of my hand, and it reminded me of those prank things. It looked like a can of peanuts, and then you'd open it up and the snakes would jump out. They did that to me many years ago. Somebody gave me one. They said, try this. I opened it up and the snakes jumped out. I did not get scared. Didn't get scared. So anyway, similar color. I mean, it's a different plate, so I have to use my bionic eye to. This one's a little bit more, that one's more greenish. This one is more yellowish. Put a little bit extra, because I have extra. Alright, so, California side. Tough to show. Yeah, this one is more yellow, and this one's more green. So California and Australia, and we have some sourdough bread. I toasted it a little bit, not much, a little bit. So we're gonna try the Australian one. Use it like a sponge. Great flavor. Now, let it seep up. So I will say, for those people out there that are not experienced olive oil eaters, that I found in my experience that the higher quality of the olive oil, the more you get a bit of that bitterness. It's a little bit of a bitter flavor, almost like a slight burning sensation, very slight. And that has it. And you could really taste like the the flavor of olives when you pick them off a tree and you try one and you go, that's a little bit bitter. That's what that has. And there's another olive oil that I've had. Life Extension Foundation has I don't know if they produce it, but they have some contract out here in California with a olive oil producer. And that one also has that intense flavor, which that oil I've reviewed in the past, obviously, and that one is really, really good. It's a good olive oil. One of my favorites. Very good, rich flavor. So that one is great. Now we try the California variety. So, similar but different. This one here has less of that bitter flavor, a little bit smoother. So if you're not into that intense olive oil flavor, this is less of that intenseness, a little bit less. This one is more intense in terms of flavor, but very good flavor. Very good flavor. I want to do let me see, because the dish is of a different color, I want to drip some of this and see side by side if there's any difference. No, it only appears greener because this is a blue dish, but when you put them side by side, they look identical. Even if I had trifocals on, I couldn't tell the difference. Yeah. But flavor, I mean, it's very minor, the difference. It's a small difference, minor variation. We'll try this again. And you know what happens after a while? It's like when you have a song that you've done, an original, and you're in the studio and you finished all the tracks and you're ready to mix. Start mixing and you start listening to different versions of that song, and you know, after a while they all sound good. And you can't really tell, you know, it's like you have to do them side by side, and then you go, well, that sounds better, has a bit more bass, but this one sounds even better because the guitar sticks out, drums are better here. So anyway, I'll try this. Yeah, this one here, definitely more robust. Has a more intense flavor. And there's a bit of a fruitiness to it. So, my conclusion is that if you want a smoother tasting olive oil from this company, choose a California one. But if you want that flavor that I appreciate, that slightly bitter, you know, more intense flavor, Australia. And I will mention that Life Extension olive oil, you could find it online, Amazon carries it, is a very, very good olive oil. Like I said, one of my favorites. So I'm gonna let the olive oil soak up. You know, I love olive oil. Olives. You can make a meal out of that. You can have olive oil, olives, anchovies, nice beverage. All right. In my house, we had tons of olive oil. My whole life, everything was based on olive oil. My father would buy by the case, 12 of those big containers, and it was always from Greece. We never We never got olive oil like from Antarctica. It was always olive oil from Greece. And we had a supply, like a famine was coming. My father would have 12, and my mother would have these green, these are tiny. My mother had these big jugs, looked like the kind of, you know, bottles that cheap wine comes in, and they were dark green, and my mother would fill those up. Then they'd make salad. Salad was always a big part of the meal. Big salad in the middle of the, you know, table, and everybody would pick from that. So if one had a cold, everybody would catch the same cold. And my mother would put a ton of olive oil, salt, pepper, nice tomatoes, bunch of olives in there. And we were big on onions. Chop up the onions in there, mix it up, beautiful flavor. So yeah, a lot of olive oil. So, like, you know, I mean, if I were to recommend this, I would say thumbs up. Thumbs up. But there's a lot of them. I mean, once you get to a certain point of quality, they're all similar. You know, it's when you get that garbage at the regular, you know, grocery store where it's watered down with other oils. Not water, but, you know, other oils, and cheapen the quality of it. So anyway, I'm here tonight, Saturday night. You know, when I was a kid, Saturday night, it meant the Love Boat. I remember 8 o'clock, the Love Boat would come on, and then 9 o'clock, Fantasy Island. And those shows, especially the Love Boat, gave you a feeling of well-being inside. You just felt, you know, kind of happy to watch a show like that. I remember when I came out to Los Angeles many years ago. I was like that big, and I don't know why I thought this, but I thought that somewhere in my journey through Los Angeles that I was going to meet the actress that plays Vicky on the Love Boat, Captain Stubing's daughter. I thought we were gonna, you know, and then we're gonna have like a hangout day where we're gonna play, you know, I don't know, at the beach with the little shovel and a bucket and hang around all day. And I thought me and her were going to become friends. I really believed that. I don't know why I thought that, but never happened. Never happened, because she doesn't hang around where I went. That was many years ago, 1980. So yeah, but I was a fan of that show. I loved it, loved everything about it. The only thing I didn't know back then, I thought that the shooting happened on the boat itself, the ship. You know, I didn't realize that they had a studio somewhere else, and they would shoot the scenes in the studio and make it look like they were on the Love Boat. And then all the shots were stock footage. You know, it wasn't never on the. I mean, there were a few episodes that were on the boat. You could tell because you could see the ocean in the background. But all the other ones, the fake sky, those were all in studio. And I met Isaac Washington. Met him in real life. And it worked out because I'm a huge fan of his. Ted Lang. Many years ago, my kids were small back then. And we were at a bakery. And got a table there, and my wife went up to get the coffee, and I was sitting there minding the table. And all of a sudden I look up and I see Ted Lang come in with a lady friend. And I said, I didn't want to, bother him at the beginning, but then the way things worked out after we drank our coffee, he was standing right there. I was going to pass right by him, and I said, I'm going to talk to him. So I said hi to him, and nice guy, very friendly. Said hi to my kids. They talked back and forth a little bit. I wanted to tell him that when I was a kid, I used to watch the show That's My Mama, or Mama's Place. So That's My Mama. And when I said that to him, and it was on very briefly, that show. So when I said that to him, he goes, wow, he goes, you remember that? I go, yeah, I remember that. You know why I remember it? Because I'm a big barbershop guy. I love old barbershops. And any television show that has a barbershop in it, I have to watch it. Even when I was a kid, I was like that. you know. So I love the whole concept of going into a barber shop and having a conversation with the barber, but it has to be an old place. It can't be like something that was put in there in 2003. It has to be like, you know, and 2003 is kind of old, 20 years, but I'm talking about it has to be there like from 1957. I want to go in there and I want to feel the rich history, you know, and imagine all the people that have gone through there and got a haircut. And I want to see all the old-fashioned looking bottles that are in front of you. When I was a kid, that was my favorite part of going to the barber shop. You know, you get the mirror. I never watched myself. A lot of people looking at the different angles. Wait, can you get a little bit more here? I don't do that. They cut it. I say thank you. I move on. But my favorite thing to do was sit in the chair and look at all the products they had. Different aftershaves, different powders, different creams. And I used to enjoy that. It was like watching TV about products. So yeah, new places, they have nothing. Everything's cleaned out. It's just an empty counter space. Very boring. Many years ago, I was looking for a barber shop. I wanted to try some other place. I'm always looking for a new place. And I went to the Italian part of town. And I found a place. The guy looked like he was like 85 years old. And I went in there, and he had his buddy hanging out with him, some other old Italian guy who looked like he was 85 years old. And I was the only one in there, so he says, you know, so I sat down, and as I'm heading to the chair to sit down, I look on the wall, and there's pictures of this barber that's going to cut my hair, who's an old man now, but there's pictures of him every few years, from the beginning of his career all the way to present day. Starts off at like, he looks like he's about 20, then he's like 25, then he's 30, then 40, then, you know, 50, then 60. There's a bunch of pictures, and you see the progression, you know. And so he gave me a haircut, decent haircut, you know. It was nice. I sat in there, had the old-fashioned stuff in there, which I enjoy. Cut my hair. The only thing I didn't really like is that when he combed my hair, he pulled out a brush that looked like he had it from day one. So I want to tell him, you know, you got to update that brush. I don't know what's in there. It was all fuzzy, you know. And he combed my hair with that, and yeah, good haircut. Did not speak much English though, so I had to, you know, figure out what he was saying by using hands. So there's been a few places that were really great barbershops that I've been to, and then there's other ones that you go in there and you're like, I know they're learning on me, because they weren't that good. So, but most of the time you get, you know, pretty lucky, and you end up getting a pretty good haircut. So anyway, that's it. Something. It's kind of bright lights, but you can make out what that says. See the cars going by. You know, when I was a kid, be in my room, be like, I don't know, it would be around 11:30 or so, and I'd pull the curtain to the side, and I'd look out, and I'd see cars going by, lonely looking people driving, and I'd be like, I wonder where they're going. I wonder, you know, what their adventure was like today. You know, sometimes 2 a.m. in the morning you'd see a car go by, lonely guy driving it. And I'm talking about in the old days. 1-6 out, I remember I was up for some reason. Maybe I had to use the bathroom, whatever. I was up, and I would always look out the window. Mama's boy going home, revving up the car. So I would always look out the window just to see anything going on, you know, somebody crazy in the driveway. And I remember I saw this car. It was a Ford LTD, red, and it went by my street, and there was a guy driving it, and it looked like he had a fedora on, right? And I kind of said to myself, where's he going this time of night? All right, that's it for now. Ciao. All right, I'm back. I feel like Columbo, you know. One more thing here I'm gonna try. I was inside and I noticed this. It's brand new. I bought it the other day. I don't know, it kind of looked good to me, so I grabbed it. Fabry, I don't know, Fabergé. Amarena Fabry. Pitted Amarena wild cherries and syrup. Now, the word pitted is wrong. That's another thing I want to change. Pitted. For me, when I hear pitted, it means that they've added a pit. You buy olives and they say pitted olives. Pitted to me is a verb that you pitted. You put the pit back in. If you say de-pitted, right? De-pitted cherries. I understand what that means. That means they remove the pit. But pitted means you've added it back in. It's very strange to me that they say pitted. It's pitted. It's not pitted. It's de-pitted. So we open it up. They have a safety seal there, so there's no fentanyl in here. All right. Wow. I'm only gonna have a little bit because we're gonna eat soon, and this is kind of the reverse way of doing things. I'm having dessert before the meal, which can ruin my appetite. So, just a little bit. I don't know if you can see. I don't want it to roll off, but right there. Delicious smell, though. I love cherries, but I love mulberries even more. Like if I had a scale 1 to 10, cherries would be like 7.3, and mulberries would be like a 12.4. Love mulberries. In my neighborhood growing up, there was a house up on the corner on the hill. An old couple owned it. 2 old people. They owned it, and they lived there. I don't know, they looked like they were in their mid-70s, maybe a little bit older. And they had a mulberry tree in the front. And I would get up early in the morning and I would go there, climb it, and I'd start eating. One Sunday, I got up there and I climbed the tree and I was eating. I was blending in with the tree and I was eating it, right? And figured everybody's asleep. It was early. And I heard the door open up and the old man came out and he's like, "Get down from the tree, get out of here." So I jumped. Now, what was he gonna do, chase me? Old guy chased me with a pipe. And I ran out of there. And about a week later, I was back eating the mulberries. Because they weren't eating them, and I figured, you know, what's the point? They're gonna fall on the ground, but I was trespassing. That was the point. So, we're gonna try these wild cherries and syrup. Wow. A lot of flavor. I think one is enough. It's like really rich, decadent. I think this is the kind of cherry you put in a beverage, like a cocktail. You know, you get home and you tell the lady, "Want to come up for a nightcap?" And she says yes, and then you mix something up upstairs and take a toothpick and put the cherry in the beverage. That's what it tastes like. Very, very, very rich. Very good. This one says gluten-free, but I paid the same price, so I don't know who makes this. It's kind of hard to read because it's so bright out here. Oh, I see. Product of Italy. Product of Italy. And listen to these calories here. So 1 tablespoon is 60 calories. 1 tablespoon. It's crazy. Imagine that. 1 tablespoon, 60 calories. It's a quick way to, you know, put on some weight. But yeah, extremely, it's like sugar on steroids. Very sweet. I don't know anything about cocktails. I mean, I know, you know, by name I can name a few, but I'm not really an expert in cocktails because I was never a club guy, you know, nightclub guy, and it was not my thing. Was not into that. Didn't like the environment. Wasn't a fan of the people in the bathroom. So I never hung around nightclubs ever. I did other things, but you know, I was more adventurous. I was not, you know, get a call, hey, what are you doing? Let's go down to the nightclub tonight and hang out there. Loud music, and that was not my thing. That's where all the drugs are. Was not into that, so stayed away. And it's a workout. Anyway, we have pizza coming now in a minute, according to their website. So I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna wrap up out here and call it a night. That's it, I'm done.